Namaste, Soul Family. This is Jules, and this is Activate Evolution, a pathway to infinite possibilities. And I just got the hit right before I got on. I was kind of wondering what I would reflect on today. And I had a conversation with one of my soul family a little bit earlier around bringing in abundance and getting out of the mentality of lack or scarcity. And I was on a trip not too long ago, and we were working on some grids and opening up some technologies within the DNA. And I had come through a little bit of a vision of what our future will be around abundance, and you could even say the monetary system. And what came through was that money itself will no longer exist, and it's going to hold a quote unquote mentality or a level of consciousness for how we actually exist through energy exchange. And so, how this would maybe show up now as we kind of bridge our way to moving into this new earth way of being is that when we exchange a currency for either a good or a service, whatever it is, that we are actually in the process of a divine reflection. And if we can hold the exchange in that space, the energy actually amplifies tenfold for both the receiver and the giver. And in that way, the concept of quote unquote saving money will actually go away, because the concept of saving money is actually based on needing money in a future pattern. But as we advance into the new earth, the future pattern is always going to be in the now moment, or even the moment beyond that, because the now moment, once we actually step into it, no longer exists. So let's bring that into the concept of money. So if money exists only in the now moment, but if we are putting it on a timeline for saving for the future, we are creating a timeline around scarcity. So another way that we can do that is through investment. And I don't necessarily mean investment as in the stock market or cryptocurrency, though you could maybe put it that in that place if you had it from the right level of consciousness. But the investment is in, how is this currency or how is this exchange serving the collective or in the unity pattern by rotating a frequency from heart to heart. So if we can start to see money from that space, it allows us to always be, first of all, in the heart space or connected to the divine anytime we're in exchange of energy. And in that space, this is what I call the one to the two to the three to the one, is if we are putting out money in order for an exchange of a service or a good or whatever you want to put in that space, we invite a reflection for the divine to come in. And you guys hear me say that, you can see it, the one to the two to the three, it creates the pyramid, which allows unity consciousness at the very tip. Whether the other person is aware of the exchange or not is irrelevant, because if you are holding that in that moment, you both are creating a space of unity in the highest evolution or in connection with the divine frequency. It will move into the space of oneness. And then if you can put money in that space, so I have money, I'm giving money to another person, the money creates a triangle or the pyramid, which at the top is unity consciousness. And then the pyramid collapses in on it and becomes one frequency. Well, what does that mean? Well, it means the frequency never actually left you, and that you still have the money or the energy that you just exchanged. And it's not actually going anywhere, but now it's holding a higher frequency because you held the reflection for the divine to come in and create a unity pattern. So the exchange of energy raises your consciousness, raises your frequency, and raises your experience in life, but the money never actually went anywhere. How we can put this into the form of investment would be, let's say that we're building a business and we're wanting to do something to bring the business into a higher frequency, bring more people into a community, bring more people into your store, whatever it is that you're wanting to have happen, more customers, you could say, or more soul family. In that space, you would, if you have the money, first of all, to do that, is you would create that space of how is this going to best serve the community, the people that are going to be coming in. And then from that place, you invite the divine to come in and to show the reflection of what that would be. This keeps us from actually trying to manifest something from our programming. Because the first thing we always do is immediately move into the divine frequency to see what the next action step is to bring in a space of unity consciousness. And then from that space, we open ourselves to divine guidance. And then we invite that energy to infuse the money or the currency or the energy exchange that is going to happen in order to build a bigger business. And in that space, then you would find whatever it is that the divine gave you guidance for. So maybe it's hiring a marketing firm. Maybe it is hiring somebody to work on your Facebook page or to create a community in a very loving way that creates connection. And you would find somebody that has ideas of how to do that. So when the energy exchange is going from you to the person that's going to help you build your business, it's holding a reflection of the first space where the divine guidance came in. And that was to create a unity pattern by bringing people into a space of compassion, love, whatever service it is that you have to offer, will create a unity pattern and then move into that space where the energy actually never went anywhere. It's moving up the spiral, you could say, or moving up in frequency. The frequency doesn't actually go anywhere. The frequency is something that you're holding. And the more that we repeat energy exchange in this way, the higher we move in frequency. And then if we do this in a very conscious way, we have the ability to move into the intelligence within that frequency. And as we repeat or practice this way of exchanging energy, what we find is that we stop looking at our bank accounts. Are still paying our bills, but we're not looking at, do I have the money? Do I have this? Am I going to be able to do this? All those kind of thought patterns around scarcity go away because we're not looking for the money in a space that was already created in form. We're connecting to the energy of the divine frequency in order to bring that frequency through to move into whatever the energy exchange is. That could be a place to live. It could be a utility bill. It doesn't matter what it is. But then the money it doesn't have anything to do with us because it's never really about us. Our concept of energy or our concept of money, currency, how that is exchanged and how we quote unquote buy things is all from our programming. All I'm doing is inviting you to step out of your programming, move into a space where maybe it's a little bit uncomfortable and you fully surrender to that space. Invite a frequency to come in. I call that the divine frequency and show you what is possible around our currency system. If everybody did this, we would go away with money altogether and we would be moving into a level of consciousness where energy exchange is so perfect that scarcity does not exist. I mean, isn't that a world that you are ready to step into? I know that I am. So it's putting aside our concept of what we're supposed to do with our money. Are we supposed to invest for our future? Are we supposed to do this? And just sitting in that for just a moment, looking at it in a way that maybe you haven't before. That's what I'm inviting you into, is what level of consciousness is behind the way you are seeing money now, the way you're seeing saving your money now. And I'm not saying don't save your money, but what I am saying is be very conscious of what level of consciousness that you're making that choice from. Anytime that we are going to have an energy exchange for a good or a service and money is involved, we always want to be very aware in where we're creating that choice from. If we can start to identify currency as a frequency, then it lets go of the programming that the currency actually holds. You'll hear me say this all the time, that we can shift identity within anything. So we can shift the way we see money, the way we identify with money. And we can do that, and we'll do it over and over again until we master it. But then the next level would be to start seeing the money as actually frequency. And I don't mean that as a frequency as an energy exchange, but what is the frequency of the currency? What is the frequency of where we are holding the intelligence of the currency, and how conscious are we of that intelligence? Because currency or exchange of frequency can move into the pure essence. And in that space, we have so much abundance that we are not thinking about saving our money. We are only thinking about how the money will be in creation with our divine frequency. I'm going to say that again. We are only thinking of currency as a way of putting out energy or creating a cycle, or even just staying in the frequency of creation, versus having it being, first of all, something outside of ourselves, something that we quote unquote have, that we have to save, that we need to work for, whatever the mentality that is behind it. Just really start to look at it. That's all I'm inviting you to do, is start to look at what you are believing about currency exchange, and to take out the identity that you have with money or currency, and see if you can start to identify it in a space outside of your own programming, and invite in the experience of what that would be. And start with something small. Start with things like little things that you are exchanging energy for. And just seeing, when you next time you go to buy a coffee, see what it feels like to exchange that energy from the space of inviting the divine to come in, to where when you are giving the person behind the counter $5, you are amplifying that exchange, because you are holding the divine within that $5, and you're bringing that energy into the reflection of the person that is taking the money. And in that moment, both of you come together in the space of that divine pure essence and create a unity pattern. And at that moment, the money actually was never exchanged. It only moved into one pure essence. Feel what it feels like to start making purchases or creating a level of service around that place, and have a lot of fun with it. So until next time, have fun with what it is to exchange energy. Invite the divine to come in, reimagine what it is to have an energy exchange, reimagine what currency is altogether. I love you, sending you so much love, and we'll see you next time.